Barcelona had nothing to play for against Antwerp, so Xavi played the B team and ended up on the losing side. Jules, given the defeat to Girona, was it the right decision? Because now he's getting even more stake.
He's getting even more stake. I mean, defensively, it was an atrocious performance. Jules Koundé, but especially Oriol Romeu. I mean, Southampton legend, I give him that. But in this game, against Antwerp, again, no offense to Antwerp, Mark van Bommel, Vermeeren, your favorite young Belgian prodigy. But Romeu was horrendous. He made those big mistakes. One very early on after a minute when Vermeeren scored, and then another one in the second half when Jensen scored. He cost 2 goals to his team. He was completely useless. I don't know what happened in Xavi's head, considering the defeat against Girona, the situation that he's in, even if they were already qualified and pretty much certain to finish top of that group, why he did that. Well, we talked about Tuchel.
Yeah. And I'm going to be consistent here, and like obviously they should have done better, and obviously Barcelona's B team should have put on a better showing than this. But you find out what these people are made for, or are made of. You find out when you go and you talk to these people, guys, you're playing Antwerp, we've lost every game, they'll be highly motivated, but whatever, right? Show me that you need to be in the starting 11.
Yeah.
In fact, maybe he even went to Jules Koundé because his performance the weekend was a great idea. Show me you need to be in the starting 11, Jules. Of course, he doesn't have other center backs because Inigo Martinez is always injured, and Christensen, of course, came off again. But I think he needs to revise this. You find out what you have in a game that doesn't matter. But so I'm going to stick with Xavi.
Yeah, I don't know.
Judge him going forward.
Not too sure. Pep Guardiola also sends out a second string team away at Red Star Belgrade, except how much did he win? 3-2. And we got to see 2 very exciting youngsters.
Yeah, Micah Hamilton, his first ever professional game, or first ever senior game anyway. I thought that was tremendous. The way he won the penalty is the kind of thing that you sort of excuse at this. He was fouled, but throwing himself in. You got to learn to make it a bit more believable there, dog. It worked for you this time. Might not work in the future in the Premier League. Oscar Bob, who I've made fun of because he's a silly name, but
lovely goal.
Tremendous goal. I mean, that's highlight reel stuff.
Yeah,
I thought.
Yeah, completely.
That kind of finish. But shout out to Red Star as well. You know, they said they would put on, they would put up a fight. They did. They scored 2 goals. Super defensive at the beginning. It was obvious what they were going to try to do, but then they got into it. They played a little bit. I didn't mind this game.
We mentioned it a few shows ago, but they finally beat the record of the most home league games without a defeat that Real Madrid owned since the Di Stefano years. Because last week, I think, they won at home. They hadn't played at home for a whole month or something. They won, which now they're unbeaten in 122 league home games.
Right. Well, it's good. Let's hope Manchester City doesn't join the Serbian League.
Yeah. Exactly.
Enough dead rubbers, Jules. How about Copenhagen against Galatasaray? A clash for all the marbles.
Incredible park and the atmosphere. And the surprise, really, more than Real Sociedad, more than anyone else in this group stage of the Champions League, Copenhagen, to come out of this group, finish second behind Bayern Munich. They won 1-0. They scored a great team goal. They lost Leiraga at the end to a red card. They fought their way to keep the score and qualify for only the second time in their history. The last time it was 2010, 2011 when they went to the last 16.
They're third in the Danish league. And I want to say this, like when people talk about, people only want to see the big teams on television, stuff like that, you can make a lot of money also from stadium atmosphere, from match days, whatever. What they put on there at the Parken, and I'm just watching on television. Yeah. That was tremendous.
It was amazing.
I feel a little bit for Maurito Icardi and the fact that.
I know.
But we'll get to see them in the Europa League.
Game of the season, though, so it was bad. Inter faced Real Sociedad at San Siro with first place in the group at stake. It finished 0-0, which means that Simone Inzaghi's crew are second. Gab, were you a bit surprised that he rested Barella, Lautaro, and Bastoni? I think he's been really disrespectful to this competition, by the way, between you and I, by keeping rotating heavily in Europe every time. And now look, imagine that they play Man City now in the last 16, the tie I want to see, because they finished second of their group. They can only have themselves to blame for.
So he rotated heavily. This is what he does. He views the game differently. He says, Lautaro and Barella, it's not like they didn't play in this game. They came on. His plan was to keep the game close and then send these dudes on to go and score the winner. It didn't work out. You know why it didn't work out? That's something that they've been a much better team in this competition. Yeah. Even when they played them in the other leg, where Inter got the draw, Inter didn't really deserve that. So look, Real Sociedad are better in the Champions League. But we'll see. He's got stuff up his sleeve. He genuinely believes in this rotation. I got no issue with it. Real Madrid traveled to face Union Berlin, and in contrast, Carlo Ancelotti played many of his regulars and gave Luka Modric 90 minutes.
Yeah.
They won 3-2 because, well, it's Union. Sorry, producer Freddie. But was that a surprise?
Surprised that he played
Luka Modric for 90 minutes.
Maybe.
And Rodrigo.
Modric was not happy.
What's the point of starting Rodrigo in this game? Why not play some guy from Real Madrid B nobody's ever heard of?
I know, you're right. Maybe it's just to keep that rhythm. Rodrigo was on good form. He was on good form again on Tuesday night. So maybe that was the reasoning. They scored 4 goals. I thought looked good. Joselu scored 2, which would be very good for his confidence. Maybe, although they almost drew that game somehow, because I think Union had like 2 shots at some point. But it's a win. They go 18 out of 18 points.
What about Volland again?
I know. Incredible.
You know what? I think he did this because I haven't spoken to him, and please take this for what it's worth, but this now gives him an excuse to drop Modric at the weekend and be like, Luka, you played 70 minutes on Sunday and 90 minutes here? Oh, sorry.
Exactly. Yeah, first place was at stake as well when Atletico Madrid faced Lazio. It wasn't much of a contest, though.
No, Lazio are not good right now. They're just not good. Sadi can mumble all he wants. Atletico Madrid are really good. They have better quality up and down the side. I think there was a Zaccagni run and shot, which looked pretty good. But other than that, Atletico could have scored more in this one. I think Sadi's got a lot of things he needs to think about. Lens against Sevilla was only for a Europa League spot, but Jules, this was a proper game.
It was amazing.
And what happened to those traveling Sevilla fans?
So they got in the end. Remember we told you the story on Monday? They got in.
With their new buddies from Lens?
No, well, yes and no, because then the highest court in France just cancelled.
Oh, they overturned the ban.
Yeah, overturned the ban from the
But
government.
they still fraternized and drank beer. And,
it was all good.
Was it moules and frites that they eat there? Because they're basically
the
Belgian, right?
They eat those baguette sandwich with burgers and chips in the baguette,
which is kind of gross if you're Parisian.
Well, I mean, it's really heavy as well when you eat it. But it was a great game. To be fair, Sevilla played well, especially in the first half. I think the pressure got to Lens, who were not good, but they managed to get a bit of a lucky pen. They scored it. Then even when Sevilla scored, Sergio Ramos, his 17th goal in the Champions League in his career.
After missing the penalty.
Having a retake. But then right at the end, Lens found a winner. They exploded. The whole stadium erupted. It's great. They will be in the Europa League and they deserve it. I'm so happy for them.
All right. Can we, Joseph, if you're listening, can we come to Lens and eat those heavy sandwiches with you?
We go for the playoff.
For the playoff, please.
We go.
Jules, we left it very late to talk Arsenal and PSV Eindhoven because there was nothing at stake and they both go through. Do you have anything to say? And if not, I will ask you, do we need to stop making fun of Peter Bosz?
Yeah, we've stopped already because of his incredible record in the league to start with 15 wins out of 15 games.
That's insane.
Insane. They played well against Arsenal, like a B Arsenal team. When PSV went pretty much, apart from Bad De Jong, replaced by Ricardo Pepi, who I thought had a good game, like Malik Tillman. Malik Tillman, who was very impressive, I thought, in that game. PSV played really well. They've got so much going for them. I would not want to face them in the last 16, although I think they could be quite exposed because of the attacking style and
because of the Peter Bosz
ball and the Bosz madness at time. But that was a good result for them, and that was a very good campaign for them. So,
by the way, when we say Arsenal B team, just to be clear, it's not like Nwaneri and those other no names are playing.
No. But it was like players who don't play much,
like Kai Havertz, Jorginho,
Kivior.
But I was actually a little bit surprised that. Obviously, the front three was the second choice front three, and you had Kivior in there, but you still had Gabriel and Saliba.
Yeah, that's true.
And nice to see that. Yeah. Nice to see get an Aaron Ramsdale.
I know,
shouting.
Exactly. Napoli beat Braga 2-0 to secure second place, which we expected. But how about Victor Osimhen's back heel? Although he gets a bit lucky.
Oh, that's why I mentioned he gets so lucky. Talk about 2 weirdo goals to give up if you're Braga. The first one, the own goal, and you can go check this out on YouTube. And then the Osimhen one, he would have scored anyway, but he clearly mishits it. He just kind of watches the ball and roll sideways into the net. But I enjoyed this. I thought Kvaratskhelia had a good game. Meret making a tremendous save from my boy Ricardo Horta. I told you Braga were good. I told you Braga were good. I told you they'd finish ahead of Union, which, self-fulfilling prophecy. Benfica lost their first 4 games, 3 of them without even scoring a goal. But they went away to Salzburg and they won 3-1, which is what they needed to do to get into the Europa League.
Incredible.
And by the way, the reason we mentioned it, I know, obviously there's a ton of Benfica fans out there. I don't know if there's any Salzburg fans at all, except for in the Red Bull boardroom. But this was really exciting, really dramatic. And Cabral, of all people, former Europa Conference League top scorer,
of course,
former man sitting behind Jovic on the Fiorentina bench, he gets the crucial goal in injury time.
And talking about back heels for Osimhen, this one is a real beauty. If you haven't seen it, on the turn as well to finish it in the 92nd minute. Benfica needed to win by a 2-goal margin
because they lost 2-0 at home.
Exactly, and they did. It's just incredible. Really, Di Maria had a great game. Scored a goal Olympico, a direct corner.
I forgot about that too.
Yeah, it was involving the Rafa Silva, who could have had a hat-trick. Rafa Silva kept missing chances, and Benfica deserved it, really. But when Salzburg came back to 2-1, we thought, wow, okay, they might just get that third place and Benfica will be out of Europe altogether. But in the end, Benfica will be in the Europa League. So even if that came really late, and it's a bit of a miracle, well done to Roger Schmidt and all the players. And not much at stake, on the other hand, for Leipzig against Young Boys, Gab, but still they win 2-1 and Emil Forsberg scores before saying goodbye. Auf Wiedersehen.
Yeah, bye-bye, club legend Emil Forsberg. You know, when your history stretches all the way back to 2014, then it doesn't take that much to be a club legend, but heck of a player. Yusuf Poulsen might still dispute that club legend task. But by Sesko, scored a great goal. I was curious because he hasn't been playing that much this season. Obviously, he's got a lot of competition up front.
Yeah.
But and he's funny because he's a gifted player, but he's one of those really tall guys who looks like a really tall guy on the ball, but still he's good. So I enjoyed a little highlight.
I see what you mean.
Jules Arne Slot, as you know, is my current favorite bald Dutch manager. There was nothing but pride at stake for his Feyenoord team away to Celtic, and they lose 2-1. Arne Slot, by the way, who looks a lot like our producer Freddie. Now that producer Freddie cut his hair really
Freddie's
really
more
short.
handsome, though.
Yeah, Freddie is more handsome. He's also about 20 years younger. Can they do something in the Europa League, Feyenoord?
I think so. I mean, they lost in the last minute. Like we said, a game they were already, obviously they had nothing to play for.
We don't want to minimize Celtic's
great
achievement because
by the way,
those guys get really aggressive.
First win at home in the Champions League in 10 years. They were on that incredible. They hadn't won at home in the Champions League for the last 15 games before Wednesday night. They were on one of the worst winless home run in the Champions League. Lille were above them, and then another team.
Can I say something about these home runs, away run records, stuff like that?
Yeah.
I think it's all guff.
Why?
Because you mentioned earlier about United's run and how they were fortress Old Trafford. Now they're terrible at home. Celtic, you would assume, you'd say, why should Celtic be bad at home in the Champions League when you got passionate fans, you have an incredible stadium. It's usually cold when you go there, so it's an adjustment. There's no rhyme or reason to it. It's just a little stat. I don't think it's any significance whatsoever.
It is.
Didn't tell you
I can't believe you're saying that.
Well, you're saying Celtic fans suddenly became lame for 10 years?
But it's nothing to do with the fans. It's just that this was the run that they were on. They just could not win at home despite the great support, the cold, whatever, Celtic Park, whatever you want to say. Welcome to paradise. But it just happened. And for Feyenoord, just to finish, yes, I think they could be very interesting in the Europa League. They've done really well in the Conference League and the Europa League in the last 2 seasons before. They play great. They've got Santi Jimenez. I don't know for how long, but right now, when the draw will be met, it will still be there. So they're good.
Should we start a rumor linking Santi Jimenez to a big Premier League club in the northwest of England that needs a centre forward?
Yeah, like who play in red?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that'd be great.